Before I became a caregiver, my husband and I would do things together. We would cook together, we would go out to eat.
I would describe our life as very busy, probably focused on work and each other mainly. 8 to 10, sometimes 12-hour work days. Try to make up for it on the weekend by doing as little as possible.
Before I became a caregiver, my life was very active with work. Prior to their diagnosis, our family dynamics, we were a very close family. I was very close with both my parents.
I had never dreamed in a million years that I would be a caregiver for one person, much less two. My husband had always been active and healthy. My mother walked 2 to 3 miles a day for like 30 years and was very involved in a lot of activities. I thought they were just going to go on forever.
There were repetitive phone calls. I had talked to you today and we had just hung up the phone. So those things became apparent of something's going on. When we got to needing to move my mom in, that was very much a push from my husband.
Yeah, it was like, she needs somewhere stable.
After both my parents at different times were diagnosed with dementia, my whole life changed and my pattern and my day-to-day life changed dramatically. Both parents are divorced and they divorced later in life. I didn't realize how much it would be for two.
My husband was diagnosed with a very serious lung disease. Your lungs slowly deteriorate to the point that you will need to be on oxygen 24 hours a day. At the same time that I was caregiving for my husband and doing more and more of the responsibilities that he had once done around the house, I was also caregiving for my mother. So a lot of the burden of everyday life fell on me. She had macular degeneration, which caused her sight to gradually diminish, and it wasn't until she was about 96 that it was to the point that she could no longer pay her bills or do any of her business, and she said I would have to take it over.
When someone calls us for the first time, what I hear most in their voice is fear. Just not knowing what to do, where to start. As we start talking, I can often hear that fear start to release because one, there's an organization out there that can help them, but also two, they're talking to someone who understands and who gets it.
When I became the caregiver for my father, I really did sit down and talk to him about it. He was able to understand, and I needed his buy-in because he's a strong personality, I'm a strong personality, we're Latinas, and we needed to be on the same page as best we could.
Normal day, since my mother moved in, still wake up early, but there's another part of that. Get her up before I leave to work. There's a lot of communication as we do have a caregiver during the day. We have cameras now, which it's a new thing for us. Every time I get an alert, kind of on edge, just making sure all is well, and come home and we do the swap. So my husband is usually making dinner, the caregiver is left, we switch into nighttime routine.
I didn't realize that love also comes with frustration because there is so much frustration. There is so much hitting that brick wall day after day after day, you know, whether it's with the insurance company or the home health or the med tech gave the wrong medicine or the pharmacy doesn't have the pills that you need.
You keep figuring it out, but oh my goodness, have I felt overwhelmed. And so I'm so grateful too for the senior source groups. I started to look forward to being able to be a part of a group with others who are going through similar situations.
Before you knew it, I was going to Zoom caregiver support groups with the senior source, and it was wonderful. I had other people that were in a similar situation to me, and so I got ideas from them.
Anyone who's going through this disease, it's really one of the first stops after you get your doctor under belt. The senior source can guide you.
When you're able to say to them, yes, you know, we have a resource for that, or yes, I understand, or here's what I recommend. You hear that sigh of relief. Now they have a plan. Now they have a direction to go in. Now they feel empowered in their role to help their loved one.
After the first caregiver support meeting, I felt a sense of relief, and I realized that there was help for me, and I needed to be taking care of myself more, and this was the first step.
What have I learned about myself in this process of dementia? I've learned that I am strong as hell, and I had no idea.